I just feel like I'm thankful. I just want to start there because I know a lot of people that go through hardships in general, they almost get that like victim mentality put over them where people and themselves feel bad for themselves. And don't get me wrong, I was there for a long time. And I think you have to be there first to feel all the feelings of that. But I'm not a victim, and I'm appreciative of everything that I went through. And I think that that's a big takeaway, because there's so many things in life that I wouldn't have learned if it wasn't for this. So looking back, yeah, the perspective that I gained and the ability to do certain things and be on my own, for example. I mean, even that, it was scary at 15 to be woken up to all of that. But looking back on that, I have an ability to have a sense of adulthood that other children didn't experience. And it's a rude wake-up call. It's a really rude wake-up call for any adolescent person to have to be thrown into adulthood. Again, I am thankful for it, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have the skill set I have today. I wouldn't have the parenting ideology that I have because of what I went through. I like to say, I love my parents to death, don't get me wrong, but I do like to say that they taught me what not to do. A lot of what they did taught me what not to do. A lot of people look at their parents and they're like, I want to be like my mom, my dad. Yeah, there's a lot of things that my parents have taught me that I've definitely taken and run with. And I still to this day instill into my children. But I think being able to be exposed to what I was exposed to, you also realize what not to do, and on a deeper level, on an emotional level. A lot of the times people hear abuse and things like that and trauma, it's very one-dimensional, very flat, and that is the biggest misconception in my opinion. Even just getting yelled at, you know, people, oh, they only yelled at you. You know, no, that's verbal abuse. And there's something more deep-seated that is going to occur within you that you're gonna have to deal with. It's now your responsibility, unfortunately, going forward. That's yours, you own that now. Somebody else put it there, somebody else gave it to you, but now you have the responsibility to take that and decide where in life you're gonna go with it. And I think that's what I finally came to the decision of. You know, I was that rebellious, reluctant teen who was just like, you know what, screw it. My life doesn't mean anything, so who cares if I do drugs? Who cares if I'm promiscuous or, you know, any of those things? And yes, normal teenagers go through that same thought process, but in their corner, they typically have a parent or a mom or a grandma or an aunt or a sister, like, you know, maybe that's not a good idea, or, you know, instilling that belief system into them of what's right and what's wrong. But when you have a child that started in that chaos, that's life, that's normal to them. It's not chaos. That's just how life is lived. So you take that ball and you roll with it, and it can be really scary and really dangerous really fast. And it's hard to catch yourself. There is no such thing as a perfect house, perfect home, perfect family. That doesn't exist. But if you take an atypical American family, there's probably things you're not gonna experience that you don't know how to, you know, change and grow and learn from. You know, atypical American families aren't dealing every day with drug abuse and alcoholism and all these other systematic things that are happening within a family. People don't realize the cycle. It's scary and it's crazy, and people all need to learn about family cycles as far as I'm concerned. That probably has a big part to do with it too. My family in general is survivors. They're resilient. My parents both come from very hard home lives. They experienced some of the same similar things that I did. So to me, you're kind of almost born into something, and then you personally have to find within yourself if you want to become a product of said environment and where you were placed, or if you want to change that environment. It could be for the better, for the worse, whatever change you're willing to do. It's a personal decision that you have to make. And I definitely in the past have let my hardships just basically be an identity for me. I've been there. It's hard to get out of. It's like, well, this is who everybody says I am, and I'm a damaged teenager, and I'm this, I'm that. So you know what, I'm just gonna be that. And it's really, really, really easy just to fall right into all your stereotypes and just kind of say whatever. The hard part is looking at that person and realizing that's not the person you want to be, and realizing that there's other people around you that know you're not that person, that know you're better than that person, that know there's something inside. I'm not saying you need a person to do that for you, because you can find it within yourself, obviously. But me personally, coming from the history I came from, a lot of the acting out I did, a lot of even the acting good I did, I was a straight A student for attention. You know, looking back at that, it was definitely because my mom and dad had standards and I wanted to be at those standards, you know, but I'm thankful because they pushed me to be a good student. So I think that's where it comes in. You have to learn how to take what happens to you, where to compartmentalize it, and what you're gonna do with it and what you're not gonna do with it. I think my personal resiliency has come from watching what I went through and all the other people around me that went through it. You know, there were so many times that I wanted to look at everybody and just be like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna be a drug addict, I'm not gonna be a good mom, take my kids, whatever. It's easier. It's so much easier just to do that. But the hard part and the real fight is to look at what you yourself own in that situation and how you yourself can own the change to that situation. And if you can just grab anything from everybody around you, anything, I mean, how to shop, how to love, I don't care what it is, you know, anything that you can grab from somebody around you that you didn't get from where you should get it at home. You know, most people learn love from their parents' marriage. Find that and just hold, it doesn't have to come from home, just find it and hold on to it. The things that I look back on that I wish I had more of was someone to talk to me. You know, someone to at least try to be understanding of me. You can't understand everybody's situation, but at least be there. You know, the basic things that I lacked were things like, it was normal for me as a little kid to walk in the kitchen and turn the water faucet on and it not have water come out. It was normal for me to walk into a room and turn a light switch on and a light not come on. I mean, it was normal for me to wear the same clothes for a week and so on and so forth. These things became what my normal life was like, so I didn't realize that it was out of the norm. The things that I craved were things that you can't buy. You know, I wanted a stable family in a stable environment where, you know, I wasn't afraid to talk to my dad because I didn't know if he was gonna scream at me or praise me. I wanted love, I wanted attention of good quality. I wanted to understand how to properly communicate. There's so many things that you're supposed to be taught as a child that just happen throughout a normal day-to-day relationship with your parents that are lacking. And when you take a child from their parents and try to make them do that normal day-to-day with somebody else, it's so hard and so incredibly uprooting to a person in general, but especially a child. We're not developed yet. We only have one sense of what life is, and that's our parents. Our parents are our life, period. Till you're 18, I don't care what anybody says, you don't know any better. That's your life. You could say friends, school, your parents are your life. When you take a person from the only thing that they have ever known and give them over to something else in any situation, it's traumatic. And that's what I want everybody to remember. The trauma is, you're not gonna pay trauma away, you're not gonna gift trauma away, you're not gonna do any of those things. You have to actually be a human and care and want to teach those human qualities to somebody. You know, it's not okay for somebody to hate you. That doesn't mean you're bad. Saying that to a person really means something, because when you're continuously abused over that, whether it be verbally, any kind of abuse, you believe you own that. You believe it's yours. You believe you deserve it, and that's how you should be treated in life. It takes one person to come in and be honest and be stable and to be consistent and understanding to show you this isn't what you deserve. This isn't what anybody deserves. But it does. It takes a light switch. And you have to do it within yourself too, okay? It has to be a team effort. You have to work within yourself too. It's hard work, it's daily work. I think that's one of my biggest things too, is people, oh, well, we took the kid out of a bad situation. The moment you took that child out of what you said was a bad situation, you started a lifelong battle with things that child will have to deal with. past what they were already dealing with. And you cannot put a dollar sign on what it's going to take to fix that or cope with it. It's not there, it doesn't exist.